right, welcome into another episode of Fantasy Rant. I'm your host, Dr. DFS. What's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm excited to. Football's kicking in. All the drafts are coming in. So I'm pumped now. It feels real now. The season's finally kicking off.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. I was talking to my buddy we were chatting on Messenger about 20 minutes ago. I'm excited to start building lineups, that first
hmm
Sunday, dude. It's just we'll do a show here in a couple of weeks. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday we'll get all the fantasy rant guys together and do a show, sort of talking about our favorite week one rituals, what we all
Yeah.
do for that first Sunday of the
hmm
NFL season. So,
For
uh,
sure.
as we're watching this here, it's we're recording this on a Thursday night, so we got Red Sox Yankees happening right now, 2-3-3. So let's go
Yes, you
Sox.
do. Right. Absolutely.
This is a make or break um series for them. I
It
think they
is.
have
I
to at
agree.
least split with the Yankees here, right? When you say
hmm
or we
Hundred
pretty much
percent. No, hundred
yeah.
percent. I mean, if they lose more ground on the Yankees, it's absolutely going to hurt. I mean, I still think they can make the playoffs even if they have a bad series against the Yankees, but you want to have that home field advantage, a little bit with Fenway Park, in that first series in the wild card, and you know what I mean. So we'll see,
Yeah.
but I do think it's important for them to at least split with the Yankees here. So.
I agree with you. I think they could probably still make the playoffs, but I think just for me, like I'm excited. I think this team can win in the
hmm
playoffs
I agree.
if we step on our dicks
hmm
here against the
For
Yankees.
sure.
I don't think I don't know. It's just demoralizing. But
I agree.
anyway, we've got some NFL stuff to get into. So we want to sort of preview what we're looking at here for week 3. I know there is
hmm
some we're hoping to get some clarity as we head into
Yes.
week 1 of the regular season.
Yeah.
There are some things that we just have a lot of questions about.
hmm
Um, are which Jacksonville running back is going to be the guy to have? Which
Right.
defense can we pick on all season long? So these are
Mhm.
things we're hoping to get a little more clarity on heading to week 1.
Mhm.
Um, I made some slides, Chris.
Yes, you did.
Put them up here.
There
But
we
let me
go.
go back to the first one. All right. All right. So preseason, week 3 storylines. Let's talk about it a
Mhm.
little bit here. Okay. So I think
Absolutely.
let's start with what's going on in Jacksonville. We got a not really, I guess it's a good problem to have if you're the Jaguars, right? You got
Mhm.
Liam Cohen in there. We saw what he did with the Bucks backfield.
Yeah.
Um, Thankfully, the Jags have moved on from Doug Peterson, who you saw what he did with the Eagles backfield when he was the coach there. So it just
Yeah.
seems like anywhere he goes, you just the running game suffers.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I think the Jacksonville Jaguar fans must be pretty excited to have Liam
Mhm.
Cohen. What do you think about this backfield situation? And do you think we'll learn anything on week 3, or you think they're just going to run a committee here?
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna know anything on week 3. I don't even know if we're gonna know anything week 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 1 of the regular season. If you remember last year with Liam Cohen, with the Bucks, Bucky Irving didn't break out and right away in the season. They let him work into the situation a little bit and came out when some of the other running backs were struggling a little bit. I wouldn't be shocked to see that happen in Jacksonville either. I think for week 1, based on what we've seen in the preseason so far and who's been getting the starter reps as well as just sort of, experience a little bit. I think ETN is going to get that start. It just feels like that's the way Jacksonville's leaning to start the season. Um, I'm not sure anything we see in week 3 will change that much. I think ultimately he is in a tough situation where he's really going to have to prove himself for Liam Cohen may be quick to pull the trigger and bench him. Um, but I think he's going to be given the chance as the vet to start off and let I don't know if Tank Bigsby has shown enough to take that away from him right away. Maybe at goal line and stuff like that, but I don't think he's going to be the regular starter. And I think they want to let the rookies, develop a little bit before they throw them right into there. So I would think ETN is going to be harder. But in terms of drafting him in a fantasy draft, or relying on him, that's going to be tough because you just don't know how long he's going to have that role, and it could be for a very short time, especially if he keeps having some of the fumble issues and other things he was having last year. I think Cohen's a much better offensive play caller, and I think he's going to get the run game going more, and I think that will bode well for ETN. And I think if he starts off the season well, I think they'll let him keep going until he shows otherwise. But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think I don't have the numbers right in front of me, so someone can check this, but I believe the Bucks backfield last year, you had White averaging over 4.5 yards a carry. You had Irving averaging like 5.6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So I think, and then the other one was like almost a 6 yards a carry. So I think that all these guys can eat, and I think it's going to be sort of. I don't think it'll be a hot hand thing. I think it's like you said, Travis Etienne. I agree. He's going to come into the season running back one. I'm with you. I guess I don't think Tank Bigsby does enough in the receiving game. I think that the wild card here could be LaQuinn Allen, and he's definitely getting some run in camp. I think he's past Tootin as the RB3 there. I wouldn't be surprised if we go into regular season with LaQuinn Allen third on the depth chart behind ETN and Bigsby. So, but I'm with you. I think we see ETN RB1, but I think the upside's really capped. I think that it's going to be there. He's going to have games where he goes off. Bigsby's going to have some games where he goes off. It's going to feel. I think there's a lot of similarities to the White and Irving situation last year in Tampa.
I agree with that. But we'll see. Of course, you just never know. There's always shockers once in a while, but
yeah. Like I guess down here, which of these four will be the odd man out? I'm gonna say Tootin. That's kind of my prediction there. So
I would agree with that. Just really quickly, I would agree with that only because I think he golfs pretty much exactly what ETN does, just not quite as well as what ETN does. And I think that's sort of,
exactly. Yep.
He's the exact same type of player, but less skilled. So
yeah, I agree 100%. I think that's why LaQuinn Allen's already passed him, in my opinion.
I agree.
My eyeballs tell me that. So
I agree with that.
On to the Cowboys, which on the surface looks like a real mess of a backfield. I think that I don't know who you draft here, but I am excited about Javonte Williams. I think he could have a look 2 years ago when Prescott was healthy. Tony Pollard finished like RB 15. Okay, so he had a lot of receptions, a lot of big plays. If Williams can round back into form, I think we could see that possibly. That's the upside of Javonte Williams.
I agree with that.
So, but so far, I don't think anybody's really shown much. And Jaden Blue, I think, is a guy that I would compare him to Bucky Irving last year. I think he's gonna start a little slow, but I think before week 5, 6, Jaden Blue will be getting a workload.
I couldn't agree with you more on that one. I think the whole situation with the Cowboys and their backfield is weird. I don't know if anybody, they didn't do what I would have expected them to do to sort of solidify that. I think there's a huge X factor out there that'll be very interesting to follow in Brian Robinson Jr. For the Commanders, who seems to be essentially out at this point there. Could the Cowboys end up looking at him? It's a possibility. I don't know. They invested in Jaden Blue, obviously, so they probably have some faith there. But it would be very interesting to see if Robinson Jr. becomes available, if Dallas, knocks on that door at all. But based on what we have in front of us right now, I think it's interesting. I'm actually currently doing the StadiumRant draft for one of the fantasy leagues we have, the redraft league.
Oh, cool.
And I actually went with the Cowboys backfield, but I think if you're gonna do that, you have to hedge your bets. And exactly what you said, I drafted Jaden Blue and I drafted Devontae Williams. I sort of hedged my bet there. Because I figured, I think Devontae is gonna be. He's been the one that's RB1 in preseason. He's gotten the most opportunities there, and I think he's going to continue to get those opportunities at first. And like you said, I mean, he showed some things in Denver. I think he has the potential there, to be at least a solid asset, both running and in the passing game. But I do think at some point Jaden Blue is going to take that over. I just don't think Williams is going to offer enough to sort of have that completely locked down. So if Blue can show some upside there, he may take over in the way Bucky Irving did, in the way that Chase Brown did in Cincinnati, even Tyrone Taylor and with the Giants last year.
Tyrone Tracy.
Tracy, my bad. Yep. Yeah, no, that's my fault. But yeah, I think if you're gonna draft any Cowboys running backs right now, you're gonna have to have room to sort of give yourself a little extra insurance to draft a couple of them because it could change very quickly, So I would say hedge your bets there.
And not just change very quickly. I think the upside on both of them is seriously capped.
Yeah.
I do think early in the season, Javonte will probably, he's going to carry the load for the first few weeks.
I agree.
So if you can buy low and have them for a couple of weeks, but even Coach Schottenheimer said they're going to ride the hot hand. They're committed to the run, but they're going to ride the hot hand. And I guess you got George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. And Dak Prescott back healthy. How committed to the run do you really have to even be? So I think, I don't know. I think we'll see Jaden Blue early though, week 3, 4. And I think he'd be the guy I'd want to draft if I was taking any.
Yeah, I agree. He has the most upside by far. He definitely has the most upside. I mean, I'd say Williams has the best floor, but Blue has the best ceiling. So,
yeah, I'm interested to see how this shakes out Saturday. Who gets most of the work? So,
agreed.
All right. So you brought up Brian Robinson a few moments ago, and I hadn't even really thought of the Cowboys as a landing spot for him, but I guess it could make sense. I just don't see the Commanders moving him in the division like that. But I guess it could happen. Yeah. I have sort of a few spots here, man. The first one's going to seem kind of off the wall because I think everybody expects Jaylen Warren is the Steelers guy, but I think that this is a spot where he could possibly end up. Have you heard? I haven't really heard any news in the last day or two about where he might end up, so we're just kind of guessing at all of this at this point.
Yeah, I think it's a complete guess. I think the Commanders have been very quiet about it, so I think all of it is speculation. You would think, at some point one of the camps should leak something, because they'll try to get something out of it, some sort of leverage. The fact that it's been so quiet is very interesting to me. I don't know if teams might be waiting until after, this weekend, after the third preseason game, to see where they sit with injuries, to see where they sit, with some of the other players, if they end up seeing some things that they don't like at camp or whatever. That's when we start seeing some calls and some movement. I wonder if teams are waiting a little bit before they put in an offer for him, and that might be why it's so quiet. I also wonder if teams are sort of, not to use hedge your bets as a phrase again, but I seem to keep saying it, hedging their bets a little bit and hoping that if nobody necessarily offers a trade or offers what the Commanders are looking for or whatever, that at some point it may get to a point where they cut him. I mean, I don't think that would happen. I think somebody would be willing to offer something at some point, but I wonder if there's a little bit of chicken being played here to see, if the Commanders are super committed to just getting him off the team completely or whether they're willing to sit on him until they get what they want. I don't know, but that could be a factor.
The timing to me suggests when they pulled him out of that game. Well, they didn't pull him out of the game. They just told him it was a mutual decision that
Yeah.
he wasn't gonna play. So, or that's what the
Mhm.
Commanders called it, a mutual decision. So in my mind,
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see anything happen before the end of the
Mhm.
preseason games this weekend. Just I
I
think
agree.
that the Commanders are sort of wait to see who goes down. Does somebody need a running back? And whoever
Mhm.
wants to trade for him is probably sitting back there like, we got to let's see how this shakes out, uh, you know,
Mhm.
this weekend before
Yeah.
we offer anything. So I wouldn't expect to see, I wouldn't expect to hear any news on this until
Yeah.
probably early next week. We got like a full off week before the season starts. So
Mhm.
I'd expect something then. I got the Bengals down here. I know this is also going to seem off the wall, man, but I don't know. I think if the Trey Hendrickson is kind of the wild card here. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I think
Yeah.
that's probably too much to give up for Brian Robinson, obviously. But
Yeah.
if you could get Brian Robinson and some draft picks, um,
Mhm.
you might
Yeah.
do it. So uh, Houston, obviously, that's kind
Yeah.
of we know they they need help, but I don't know
They
if
do.
they would even really benefit too much from a Brian Robinson because that offensive line is awful. I mean,
Yeah.
they're
It
I
is.
don't
It's
think
brutal.
anybody's gonna be good behind that line. And I'm just
No,
wondering how good the Texans offensive unit can even be this year with that. I mean, they
I
let
know.
their best lineman leave.
Mhm.
What do they have
Yeah, it
now?
was already.
So
I was gonna say it wasn't even good last year. Now they downgraded even further. I mean, yeah,
somehow.
it's brutal. Yeah, it's brutal. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, I think they make the most sense purely from a who needs a running back the most. Gretchen, with the exception of maybe you have Kansas City on there. I think Kansas City's an interesting one because I think Pacheco is definitely a wild card there, and they've never been afraid to go get running backs. They obviously got several last year and sort of tried whatever they could to figure it out. I don't think Kareem Hunt's going to be a handcuff for Pacheco necessarily right now. But I think Brian Robinson would be good for them there, but yeah, like you said, I just don't know. I mean, I don't know if any running back is going to succeed there, and if that's not succeeding, it's going to put even more pressure on C.J. Stroud, and I don't know if he's, I mean, he can scramble, he can make plays, but that offensive line is atrocious, so we'll
Yeah, I
see.
just
But
for the Texans, I think everybody that's kind of the most obvious one. That's where
mhm,
I wonder if there's odds somewhere we can look. I bet the Texans are the favorites, but to me,
yeah,
depending on what you have to give up to get Brian Robinson,
mhm,
I mean, you don't have an up front. You don't have anything on the offensive line. So now, if
yeah,
we're talking about giving up draft picks, I mean, do you
right,
really want to do that? Are you in a position where you bring another running back in? Will it even matter? So I think that's not as obvious as people might think it is. The Chiefs are
yeah,
kind of my favorite to land them, and I like what you said. I mean, they've shown that they're willing to go out and make some moves to get better. It
mhm,
just seems like that team. It was a weird year for the Chiefs last year. Kareem Hunt definitely gave him a little spark early in the year when Pacheco went down, but I just feel like I don't know. It just seems like Mahomes
mhm,
is maybe regressing
yeah,
a little bit. I know people are going to beat
he
me up
is,
for that
yeah.
one, but
No,
I
I
just
agree.
think
He
that
didn't look great last year. I mean, he was fine. He was solid, but he didn't look fantastic last year. I
he's a
also say
winner.
I just pulled up the odds on where he's gonna go right now.
All right, cool,
Um,
cool.
because I was curious. So actually, the highest odds right now is he stays with the Commanders. The odds are
Okay,
plus
that makes sense.
200. Texans is next at plus 275, and then the Dallas Cowboys at plus 400 are next. 49ers and then Chiefs round out the top five. Um,
Oh, the Niners kind of make sense too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Niners and Chiefs. They've got Bears, Dolphins, Titans, Steelers, and Browns as the other ones in there. They didn't list the Bengals at all
yeah.
in there.
The
So
Bengals doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I
yeah,
just thought that just Chase Brown, it's his show
yeah,
there. I mean, they could really if the Bengals want to be contenders, and we're going to get to more on this
Mm-hmm.
on the next slide, but if the Bengals want
Yeah.
to contend, um, they don't have a defense, and they
Yeah.
can't wear Chase Brown out,
I
dude.
know.
And so, I
No.
mean, because you're going to hand the ball to
Yeah.
Chase Brown 200 plus times this year.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
then want to have some fresh legs for the playoffs. So I think
Mm-hmm.
if you really want to go deep, a Brian Robinson
Yeah.
makes sense. And if you're trying to
Yeah.
move Trey Hendrickson, um,
Yeah.
you know,
I agree.
so
It's definitely a
but
possibility. I mean, and
but then
they've
they'd have
shown
to
a
pay
willingness to.
Robinson.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's the thing, and but they've shown a willingness to double, triple, quadruple, quintuple down on their offense, and just try to win every game 45-35 at this point. It seems to be their goal. But
Crazy.
yeah,
The
so
fact that the Bengals didn't have a defense last year
hmm
probably took away an MVP from Joe Burrow. Because
absolutely,
if they win 12, 13 games and go to
yeah,
the AFC Championship game, Joe Burrow might be
yeah,
the MVP.
oh,
So,
absolutely, yeah,
and they're
absolutely,
wasting a lot of good years out of the Burrow and Chase and
I
Higgins
know,
shows. So I don't
absolutely,
know. I that which brings us to our next point of
hmm
contention is the
yeah,
I got a typo on the slide. Damn it. Is the Cincinnati defense going to be terrible this year again? Absolutely. And from a
yeah,
DFS standpoint, and I know we can't really do this in our year
hmm
long leagues, but from a DFS standpoint, I would
hmm
tell everybody who's playing daily fantasy football every Sunday on DraftKings or FanDuel,
hmm
when you see a unit playing against the Bengals defense,
hmm
uh, key in on those skill positions, key in on the quarterback, wide
yep,
receiver, running back going against them because
yep,
they're going to be. And if they move Trey Hendrickson
oh,
and get rid
absolutely,
of their only threat on defense at all, really,
hmm
I, yeah, they're just. I don't
yeah.
see how they're not going to be one of the worst units in the
Oh, I
league.
agree. They're going to be one of the worst defenses in the league, no question. And even if you're looking at a year-long league, if you have a little bit of depth bench players and you're determining, some of your flex position, definitely look against the Bengals. And I'd also say on the flip side, if you have guys like, obviously, I mean, you start Jamar Chase no matter what. You
Yeah,
pretty much start T. Higgins no matter what. But
yeah,
the reality is, with their terrible defense, even some of their tight ends, I mean, if you look at the tight end position, any of those are going to be worth drafting because at the end of the day, the Bengals are going to have to score about 1 billion points to win games. So they're
yep,
caught. I mean, Burrow's going to be
yeah,
throwing 40, 50, as much as Chase Brown is an amazing, player there at running back, they're going to be giving up touchdowns left and right, which is going to force the Bengals to have to throw like they have pretty much all season last year. So anybody that can catch passes there are going to be worth drafting because, just by sheer volume of how many passes you're going to throw, you're going to get receptions, especially in PPR leagues. I mean, that's on the flip side. I mean, every game is going to be probably 30, 35 to 30, 40 to 35, high up there, so you're just going to get a ton of passes out there as well.
yeah. That's why I say if the Bengals' plan is to make their defense worse for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
then they really should honestly go spend that return.
Mm-hmm.
Get a running back in return. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Give Chase Brown some
Yeah.
help out there, man.
Absolutely.
Because you're gonna wear him down. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it ain't just
Absolutely.
the Cincinnati Bengals who are going to be
Mm-hmm.
terrible on defense. I've
Yeah.
highlighted the New Orleans Saints here also. They were not great last year. Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, they're getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just see them being a bottom third, I'm worse, 28,
Agreed.
29, 30th, probably.
Agreed. I agree with that. And on top of that, that offense is such a. I mean, they have some weapons, offensively, but their quarterback situation is a mess right now. And so
Yeah.
there's going to be, I feel like, a lot of drives where they're 3-and-out or have very short drives, which is going to then wear out the defense even more. At least with the Bengals, they're going to stay on the field on offense a little bit, even though there's nobody on their defense. They'll at least be able to sit on the bench and breathe. I'm not sure, the Saints are going to be able to do that. And like you said, they're an aging defense, so they're not going to be able to be out there, 7-8 minute drives and then pop right back out there a minute and a half later and go again. It's going to beat them down. And the Saints, as we know, the salary cap situation was so ugly this year. They couldn't really do anything in the offseason, and they're not going to be able to do anything during the season either. I mean, that's just a bad situation all around for them.
It's terrible. It's crazy to think that you're going to have a rookie quarterback who's, he's just going to be turning the ball over and giving the
Absolutely.
I'm not saying he's going to be a turnover machine. I'm just saying rookies, they turn the football over, man.
You're learning. You're learning the game.
You're going to have a lot of short fields for your defense. And it's just like, to me, if you're going to have a young offense, you might as well at least playing around that with a good defense. I mean, it's amazing to me how bad some of these rosters are constructed. The Titans, here's another one.
Yeah.
Because they did, I think Denard Wilson, defensive coach, is going to be a plus for the Titans eventually. But he doesn't have anything to work with.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to work with. When I look at this roster, it may be one of the most poorly constructed defenses in the NFL.
Agree. Yeah, it's a terrible construction. I don't know what the GM's doing. And quite frankly, much like the Saints, the Titans don't have a ton going for them on offense either. I mean, they've got a lot of inexperience at wide receiver. I mean, you've got obviously rookie Cam Boyd as at quarterback. I think he could potentially become something, but he's a rookie. I mean, we've seen some rookies come in immediately and make an impact, but do I think he's a Jaden Daniels or even necessarily a CJ Stroud? And year one, no, I don't, especially not with the weapons he has around him or lack thereof. So this is going to be another situation where I think there's going to be a lot of turnovers, a lot of, 3 and outs, and I mean, Cam Ward is prone to turnovers anyways. I mean, that was kind of sort of the knock on him. I mean, he's a gunslinger. He's got a hell of an arm, but we'll see what happens. But I just think they're going to put even more pressure on that defense, and it's just going to be, in some ways, I think that could be why the Titans and Saints defenses end up worse than Cincinnati, if for no other reason that they'd have to stay on the field way more and try to recover from turnovers way more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a situation where sometimes you talk about the defense carrying the offense, carrying the team. And in the Cincinnati situation, they're going to have to help the defense every way they can. They're going to have to be on. But they're so quick strike that they just don't have a lot of prolonged drives a lot of times. So that's why I think getting Chase Brown a little help. But I'm with you, man. The Titans and the Bengals, the Titans and the Saints. It's one of those. We're just gonna probably want to there's no fantasy relevance almost anywhere on either of those rosters. Anymore.
Literally nothing.
You don't want to. You don't want to mess around with the offense. You don't want to mess around with the defense.
Yeah.
And
that's what's too bad about the Saints too, because they do have a couple weapons on offense there, but then you don't have a quarterback. You know what I mean? It's just so weird that they didn't invest in I mean, I know they were sort of a little surprised by the Carr announcement, but Carr isn't that great anyways. I mean, he's sort of a game management, like he's a decent game manager. That's about it. I don't know why they didn't invest in the draft in a better quarterback than they did. They invested in a 26-year-old who took 7 years to stay healthy, you know what I mean? Not that he's awful, but I just don't know why they didn't do more there when you've got Olave as a good wide receiver. You've got Kamara's aging, but he still showed something last year when he came back from injury. I mean, they have some pieces there for, to at least develop a rookie a little bit, have somebody to throw to, and they just didn't really do much. So
Kamara still was in DFS play. Week to week, he was a guy that ended up in my player pool every weekend.
Absolutely.
Last year. But you're right. I mean, hey, how long can he keep that up? But then I look at Derrick Henry and I say, Jesus, some of these guys just don't age.
That's true. That's 100% true.
It's so really wild that the running back position, going off on a tangent here, but the running back position just affects some guys. I mean, they hit that wall, dude, 26, 27, and they're done.
Right.
And then you look at Derrick Henry, and you just have to really be in awe.
Absolutely.
The talent that is Derrick Henry, man. And I'm a fan.
Absolutely.
I love to see it every weekend, even though I can't stand the Ravens.
I agree. Yeah, no, I feel the exact same way. It is impressive what he's doing. No matter what team he's on, too, he just keeps chugging along, and he's just, he's an automatic at this point. You know exactly what you're gonna get out of him every year. You know,
And he's still
so
looking for hits
yeah, he is.
at 30 plus, man. He's out
I
there
know
looking for him, dude.
he
Love to
really
see
is.
it.
He really is. He loves it. Yeah,
All right,
agreed.
cool. Well, I think we kind of got through what we were going to talk about, man. I think we'll
Yeah.
this was sort of a preview. We'll circle
Mhm.
back on Saturday and see how much of this
Definitely.
we are. Did we get any more clarity from these games?
Mhm.
Probably not.
No.
Week 1, week 2, they're always kind of a crapshoot in daily
Yeah.
fantasy football and year long,
Agreed.
for that matter.
Yep.
But there are some edges, and
Mhm.
anywhere that there is uncertainty, the DFS landscape has gotten so sharp. The
Mhm.
players now are so sharp. Everybody's got so much information at their fingertips, um,
Absolutely.
and so the edges are harder to find. But when we
They are.
find them, like roster uncertainty and the
Yeah.
early season, that's the
Yeah.
stuff we got to try to capitalize on.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
watch
Well,
these
and one thing
games.
we didn't talk about that really quickly, I just want to throw out there because it
Yeah.
was relatively recent news, was with the Patriots wide receiver core. We didn't talk about that at all, but that was up in the air with Polk going down for the season.
Yep.
The season was just announced very recently, that he's having surgery. So that is another one that we're going to want to watch. Obviously, are playing right now, actually, so we have a little bit of an idea there with game 3 for them. But the wide receiver battle there will be very interesting to watch. There could be some sneaky upside with a couple guys that get a chance there. So that's just
I
something
think
people want to keep an eye on too. You know.
I think Efton Chisholm will make the roster.
Mhm.
I
Agreed.
think he will be a guy that I kind of a fan, but I'm also, a big Pop Douglas fan. And
I was just
I
about to say, yeah.
this whole camp, I've been saying Pop should have 120,
Mhm.
130 targets this year. Like he should. I'm not
He
saying he
should.
will. That's not a
He
prediction,
should.
but his skill
Yeah.
set dictates
Mhm.
that he should be getting that many
He should
targets
be.
in a Josh McDaniel offense.
Agreed. Agreed.
Well, I think Efton Chisholm probably cuts into that a little bit,
A little bit.
because
I
I think
agree with that.
he's a similar type of player. So,
Yeah.
um,
I
but I'm
agree with
excited
that.
about him. Like the
Yeah.
Patriots found another one. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. And they improved. Speaking of offensive lines, that actually improved. They spent the money to improve the offensive line this year. They got their running back now too. So they should be able to open up the field a little bit better for their wide receivers. So somebody like a Pop Douglas, should be able to have a better season this year. Just with a little bit more reliability on that offense. You know.
early on, early season, that's a unit that excites me because
Hmm.
you look at the schedule they have.
Yeah.
When when the early schedules came out, I think they were favored in 11 or 12 of their
Yeah, I
matchups.
was gonna say they had
So
one of the easiest uh
yeah,
schedules in the entire league this year.
so
They could be a turnaround team for sure.
that offensive unit excites me. I think there's some guys
Hmm.
I like a Drake May type of quarterback
Yeah.
is
Hmm.
somebody that's really you really like to have those guys in your player pool come
Hmm.
Sunday on DraftKings,
Agreed.
FanDuel, especially FanDuel, because the mobile upside, and he's not just a guy that moves the pocket around. He's a
Hmm.
guy that can make plays outside of the pocket
Absolutely.
with his feet or his arm. So, and I think that's a weapon that Josh McDaniels hasn't really had yet.
I
Um,
agree.
so I'm interested to see what kind of plays he draws up for
Hmm.
that.
For sure.
And I'm early on when I can get Drake May for 5,500 or
Yeah.
6,000 in that range on
Absolutely.
DraftKings or FanDuel. I'm gonna
100%.
be playing a lot of Drake May. Um,
Agreed.
pro- I think Stephon Diggs is going to be more of a kind of more of a decoy. I don't want to say
Yeah.
he's a decoy. I just think he's there to
He's
bring
gonna.
some of
He's
these
the
young
wide
guys
receiver
along.
that's gonna. Yeah, he's the wide receiver that's gonna get the coverage from the number one
Yeah,
cornerbacks. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And so he's gonna be covered a lot. Which will open up actually another rookie we didn't talk about, but Williams. There, he is deep threat on that team,
That's their guy.
and with
They
May's
love him.
arm, exactly. And now with Polk injured on top of that, I mean, he's going to get some real run, I think, too. So he's somebody else to watch on that. He could benefit the most from Diggs' existence,
So
So
what's that wide receiver room going to look like after week one? You'll have Diggs, you'll have Keon White, you'll have
Booty.
Booty, probably Baker.
Baker's on. I think you're guaranteed to keep Williams just because of the draft capital. You obviously got Diggs. I'd say Booty's safe to stay. I think the fourth and fifth will come down to Baker, Chisholm, like you said. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Who am I missing?
Yeah, we're missing Demario Douglas. I'd hate.
Oh, right. Demario Douglas is obviously a lock. Sorry.
No way he doesn't.
Yeah, he's a lock.
Yeah.
No, 100%. He's a lock. Yeah. I think. Yeah, it'll come down to Baker. Oh, Matt Collins. Matt Collins is also there. I don't know if he'll make it. I don't think he will, but he is a name out there as well. So it looks like it's like 3 or 4 guys battling for 1 or 2 spots.
You're gonna have Baker, Chisholm, Matt Collins, all battling for that final spot. The problem is we've seen. I know they're high on White. I'm just guys like White, and I was gonna say guys like Chisholm, but the word out of camp is he's already well involved in the first unit on offense, which is you step into a Josh McDaniels offense. It takes these guys a lot of time usually, especially wide receivers. So
absolutely. They love him. They love him. Nothing but positive coming out of camp about him. So
I like Matt Collins. I love the personality and the energy he brings to the team, but I just don't think that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. I don't see. He has a slightly better chance. I forgot about Bourne too. Kendrick Bourne is also out there. They have a heck of a lot of wide receivers out there. Not a heck. I could see them going in even 6 deep, but so they're all the same type of build, all the same type of player. So I don't know. I don't know what the plan is there. But we'll see. I guess we'll see. But they may end up carrying something like 6 or even even as I don't think they'll go 7. I think it will be, but they could carry 6 and just ride the hot hand. See who can pull away from that. I don't know. We'll see. But
that's gonna be an exciting offense to watch with Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson. I know he had some issues with fumbles last year, but he's only a year removed from.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, really good.
He's a solid running back. I was happy last year going in with him as our RB1. He does. He does. So, they got some depth there.
Antonio Gibson probably, in my opinion, outplayed him last year. When he was on the field. So I think so. He's another guy too. So and you remember the days of the James Whites and the Boldens and the Kevin Falks.
That's the exact type of field that Gibson plays. I think Josh McDaniels is gonna love having that on the team. Because I think he fits that mold perfectly. And you got Hunter Henry at tight end. That's been a safety net for May for the entire year last year too. And I don't see that going away either. So I think he's gonna have a good season too.
They've definitely filled out this team with a lot of fun, fast, a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism. So we
definitely
we'll that'll either go really bad trying to build this Josh McDaniels offense, but I think the arrow is pointing up for the Patriots for sure. Anyway, we went off on a long Patriots.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to make it be that long. I just wanted to touch base on it because we had just heard about it. But but that's good. I think that's good. It's a good thing to talk about, especially with the news. I think it does open the door for a couple players to have an opportunity to show themselves now. So,
I agree. And so we'll circle back here this weekend, and we'll probably have all the same questions. But like I was saying, we'll just try to find these edges going into week 1, week 2. That's in a year-long league, these first couple of weeks, you can start building a cushion right away if you are on
Definitely.
it. If you're on it,
Definitely. Agreed.
there's still guys on the waiver wire that probably need to
Mm-hmm.
be on your roster. Um,
Yep.
and that's another thing we're gonna do. We'll put up I'll post the show schedule soon somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll know where it is. And we'll be talking about. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we'll just lay out the schedule for. I think every Tuesday we're gonna sort of
Mm-hmm.
recap the weekend and
Mm-hmm.
look at the waiver wires.
Yep.
Every Thursday we're going to preview the weekend and
Mm-hmm.
the Thursday night game, and
Yep.
then our Saturday night show, Saturday afternoon show. We'll try to get it out
Mm-hmm.
Saturday afternoon. Is going to basically break down the whole Sunday slate from a
Yeah.
purely DFS perspective. Sunday
Yep.
we'll have a year-long fantasy discussion in the mornings, but
Yep.
yeah, that's sort of, and I'll get that schedule posted up for everybody, so you, the
Mm-hmm.
listener, you, the viewer, can know where to go for all that. So,
Absolutely.
man,
Absolutely.
I don't have anything else. Let's check the score on this
Yeah.
Red Sox game real quick.
I know they were up 4-3. Last I saw, they had taken a 4-3 lead. I don't know if it's still that way, but end of the eighth, 4-3. Yep.
Yep, I see
End
that.
of the eighth, 4-3. So
They got to win this game. They got to win two.
they do.
At
They
least
do. And
two
this
in the
is,
Bronx.
I agree. And this is a good start for sure. Hopefully, I'm
Chris, if
assuming
they win
Chapman will
three
come
or
in the ninth. So,
if they
if we
win
win
3 or
3,
4,
yeah,
bro,
yeah, that would
if
be
we
incredible.
yeah, that
Yeah.
would be.
And,
I don't think
and I
they
will
did
say,
enough.
for all that they've been inconsistent against good teams this year, they really have done pretty well against the Yankees all season long. So,
They have,
we'll
yep,
see if that
and
continues.
they played well. I mean, they've played okay in the division. Um,
Yeah,
I
they
don't
have.
have the division record in front of me, but I
Yeah,
feel
I know
like they've been okay in the division.
Toronto's been a bit of a thorn in their side for a while. I think the Orioles, before this last series, they've been doing pretty well against them. They lost both against them. Obviously, changed it a little
Yeah.
bit, but yeah, no, I think that this would be a big win for them for sure.
I don't know what they're doing from a roster building standpoint quite yet. I would have expected them to make some sort of move at the deadline, or I know they
Yeah.
did. I would have expected a little more, but then I look at it and I say, maybe what they did makes sense because there wasn't a
Hmm.
lot out there and people
Yeah.
overspent for it. And the Yankees made a
Agreed.
ton of moves and they're fighting for their lives against the Red Sox right now. So,
Exactly.
um,
Exactly. They went for that super bullpen, and that's been anything but a super bullpen since they got them. They already sent one of the guys they got down to the minor leagues because he was doing
I
so
know,
badly for
man.
them.
So it's like, I guess maybe Craig Breslow and John Henry know a little more than we're giving them credit for because why go spend 50 to 100 million more to win a game or two more? I that
Yeah.
to me, so I like the team, I like the talent, I love the young talent. I mean, they to me, and Yankee Red
Hmm.
Sox fans everywhere will hate me for saying this, but I'm going to draw a comparison to those mid 90s to late 90s
Hmm.
Yankee teams that just had, I mean, every year, Tino
Yeah.
Martinez, every year, Scott
Hmm.
Brosius, Knobloch, Bernie, Jeter,
Yep.
you know, uh, that was the core.
Yeah.
And they grew a lot of that talent. And the Sox
Yeah.
right now are positioning themselves to do something
They are.
similar, I think.
They
We
are.
need some more
Um,
pitching, though.
Agreed. And just because I was curious, because you said it, their record in the AL East is 20-15, which is the best record of anybody in the AL East. They have the best
I
record
felt like they were
within the
playing
AL
well.
East of anyone.
A lot of
Yeah.
it. A
I mean,
lot of it is
granted, most
Tampa,
of those wins come
and
against the Yankees.
Yeah, the Yankees
Yeah.
and Tampa.
But yeah, exactly. We've sort of beaten up on those two. But
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, man. Well, I got nothing else, dude. I think I really appreciate you for doing such a late show. These
Absolutely.
these shows are hard to get up for because you want to be laying
Yeah.
in bed, man. But
Yeah.
we did it. We got through it, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All
Cool.
right. Well, this
All
was
right. Well,
fun.
we'll check. Yeah, we'll check everybody out next time. We'll see y'all on what's today? It'll be Friday when y'all see this. We'll see y'all Saturday night.
Absolutely. See you guys Saturday night. Enjoy the rest of your enjoy the beginning of your weekend and enjoy your football slate, whatever games you end up watching.
Go Sox.
Yes, go Sox.